Hello everybody, welcome. I am Farmer Dan and it's a great Saturday afternoon. Harvest is basically completed for Monday's shares, and this week I just have to tell you, the baby spinach that's actually baby size that's coming out of the high tunnels is so sweet and tender. There's been a couple frosts on it. This is the stuff that longtime CSA members you're used to in terms of spinach quality. So be looking forward to that. But this week we're talking about mushroom madness. Now, I'm going to talk about some mushroom facts as they cook a little bit, but I want to show you the basics. When you get a mushroom from us, it's in this little paper bag, which is the proper way to store it because mushrooms need to breathe a little bit. So you're just going to look in your baggie here, and I happen to have oyster mushrooms here as opposed to the shiitake mushrooms. Those are two different types. And you can just take this bag and you can put it right in your fridge, and they need to breathe a little bit. In the commercial productions, they pack them actually in cardboard boxes with little holes in it. So the paper bag essentially simulates that. Now, so you're gonna take your mushroom out, and I'm gonna show you here. I have oyster mushroom here, and I have shiitake mushroom. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna slice it, 1/4-inch slices like your, julienne carrots or something like that. No big deal really, and you can mix them. And then you take your skillet, which I've pre-warmed here, and I wanted to show you this. The whole point of this is how to pan fry your mushrooms, whether you want them soft or whether you want them crispy. Now you can see the skillet here, there's oils running in it. That's actually too much oil. Julie prepared these skillets and get them ready for the next cooking round. But if you're gonna pan fry mushrooms, I find that you almost really want them dry. So that's now dry. It's at a medium-high heat, and I'm just gonna slide the mushrooms right on there. And they sizzle right away. It's kind of like browning a steak on a grill. You want them to really just sizzle and pop and seal in all those, particularly vitamin B it's packed in. And if you ever feel like foggy, hard to think, foggy brain, what they call it, vitamin B is actually a really good remedy for that. Caffeine is sometimes too, but the long-term health thing, vitamin B is probably what you're lacking. Now you can hear it sizzling, and it's going to look really dry at first, and in about 2 or 3 minutes it'll just kind of turn to all this moisture. And what you're looking for here is, I like a crackly, almost caramelized mushroom. So these are just like onions really in terms of cooking them. And so I'm just going to let them sit there. I'm going to find my spatula here. And every couple minutes, just let them stir. But the moisture is really starting to come out of it now. And in the meantime, as those cook, one of the things that we've started doing is you can dehydrate your mushrooms. So if you have a food dehydrator, you just put it on about 110 degrees for a couple minutes, actually 2 hours, and then for the rest of the time, 4 or 5 hours, Harper's laughing at me, 4 or 5 hours, you just turn it down to 90. And you just want them to be nice and somewhat leathery. Then you can put them in a bag and put them in your fridge, and they'll stay good for a year. So really great for throwing quick on top of a pizza. So medium-high heat. Oh, this is what I want to show you. It's so exciting. So literally, there's like a pool of water around the mushrooms. Now, if you were to take them off at this point, they would be rubbery. There's really no reason to do this, actually. They'd be rubbery and kind of gross. So the key is to leave them on the heat and let all that moisture evaporate. So let me tell you a little bit about shiitake mushrooms in particular. They're really famous for being antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal. And if you have bad breath or you have gingivitis, often you use mouthwash. Shiitake mushrooms have a lot of the same compounds that actually are just as effective at fighting gingivitis as mouthwash. So kind of cool fact. They also boost your immunity, so particularly related to your gut immunity. I think a lot of us forget that food is really medicine. We tend to pop a pill first, but if we can get our food right for our bodies, I really think we could avoid a lot of the pill popping that a lot of us do, which I'm equally guilty of, by the way. So our gut immunity is boosted when we eat a regular kind of intake of mushrooms. And so, oh, you can see now, just want to show you, update on cooking. The moisture is evaporated now, a little bit better. So we're about 2 or 3 minutes away. And what you're going to look for is a browning or crisping. Once they're to that point, you can take them off and you could put them, you could season them. So you might want to spice it up. So I got a little pepper here. I'd put a little salt. Sometimes if you want that kind of buttery, rich flavor, you add butter at this point after they're crispy. If you add butter at the start or halfway through, they're going to turn rubbery and they're going to be gross. So, mushrooms have a satiating effect because of their fiber. Like you'll tend to eat less. So there's a lot of research being done on kind of anti-obesity type stuff out of mushrooms. And this is one of the coolest things. So for you mushroom nerds out there, Trad Cotter, he's like the mushroom guru. This is like a textbook thick. Mushrooms can actually be used for microbioremediation. Basically that means it can sanitize water, and recently discovered the only thing on earth able to digest plastic, to actually break it down, is a couple of different fungal or mushroom species. So pretty amazing stuff. Oh, yep, so you can see here now, the pan is officially dry. They're really, you gotta stir it once in a while. These ones are particularly moist today. Oh, but you can see the browning effect. So at this point I might start to add a little pepper and salt to really get it into the juices. And I'm gonna let those keep cooking and enjoy them on my salad. Actually, I'm gonna put some microgreens in salad, add some butter here and just top them off. And shiitake mushrooms do have a particular strong flavor. So if you find that they add flavor or that they're really strong, it's because they are. They're not a portobello. So here's my call to action for you guys. There's going to be a sale next week on mushrooms. Shiitakes, we have to order them 13 weeks in advance, and then they start sending the blocks. So there's a long lag time. And normally it's $5 a bag for this wonderful bag, but it's $4 a bag for just next week, week 5. That's the same price that a shiitake mushroom share would be. So take advantage of that, experiment. I love eating mushrooms, and you can do all sorts of wonderful things with them, and they do wonderful things for us. So thanks again, and these are now ready and crispy, and if I cooked them longer, they would actually start to caramelize, which is also amazing. It just takes a long time. All right, over and out.